The cab pulled up to her childhood home, and she saw the excitement in her mother's eyes as she eagerly awaited her arrival. The house adorned with colorful balloons and streamers testified to her mother's love and dedication. She stepped out of the cab, her heart brimming with gratitude for the chance to celebrate the special day with the person who meant the world to her. Inside, the aroma of her favorite childhood dishes filled the air, instantly transporting her back to simpler times. They sat at the dining table, sharing stories and laughter, reminiscing about the past and dreaming about the future. It was in those moments of connection and love that she realized the true essence of happiness, the joy that came from nurturing relationships and cherishing the present. Though she had already brought her birthday cake, her mother surprised her by presenting a homemade cake adorned with flickering candles. The room filled with warmth and love as they sang the familiar birthday song, their voices blending together in celebration of another year of life. However, this time, the gravity of the occasion extended beyond the number of candles on the cake. It symbolized a fresh start, a newfound appreciation for the simple pleasures that life offered. As the final note of the song faded away, Blair closed her eyes and silently made a wish. It wasn't for material possessions or external achievements, but rather for the continued presence of love, joy, and contentment in her life. She blew out the candles, feeling a sense of peace wash over her, knowing that true happiness resided within herself and the cherished relationships she held. She embraced her mother tightly, realizing that the greatest gift she could give herself was a commitment to prioritize her internal happiness. From that moment onward, she vowed to live each day with gratitude, embracing the simple pleasures and nurturing the relationships that brought her genuine joy. As she celebrated her birthday surrounded by love, she understood that this was only the beginning of a lifetime filled with internal happiness. Suddenly, her phone rang, and she noticed the screen flashing with an unknown number. When she answered, a male voice came through. "Hello, is this Joseph Anderson's residence?" Upon hearing that name, she felt a pang of annoyance. Seeing her mother's joy, she quickly moved to another room. She didn't want that name to accidentally reach her ears. "No," Blair replied curtly, wanting to end the call. "Blair Anderson, Joseph Anderson is your father, right?" The person on the other side said in a panicked tone, which infuriated her. "No, he's not my father. He only has one daughter, Kaylee Rodriguez. If you have any business, talk to her," Blair shouted in anger. The man on the other end seemed surprised by her sudden outburst. There was a moment of silence before he hesitantly spoke again. "I'm sorry, I must have dialed the wrong number. I apologize for bothering you," he said, his voice now filled with regret. Blair hung up the phone angrily and sighed, feeling a mix of relief and frustration. Her father's name stirred up a whirlwind of emotions within her. Joseph Anderson was not just any man, he was her father, or at least he used to be. She shook her head and returned to her mother, who sat looking at her childhood pictures. Those photos brought back memories of laughter, joy, and innocence. It was amazing how happy her mother and she looked in those pictures. Joseph Anderson's name was nowhere to be found. And honestly, why would someone not in their pictures be in their thoughts or lives? She watched her mother, lost in thought, gaze at the pictures with a mixture of longing and sadness. It was as if she was searching for something that had been lost, something that could never be replaced. It wasn't that Blair never missed her father. She still missed him a lot. And the more she remembered her father, the more she hated Kaylee. Blair was only 10 years old when he left them. As she grew up, she was always aware of his absence, but moments like these made her feel the void even more deeply. She often wondered what it would have been like to have a father figure in her life, someone to guide, teach, and share her successes and failures. However, his absence left a void that no one else could fill. Lost in her thoughts, she looked at her mother when she received another call from the same number. Annoyed by the ringing phone, her mother raised her head and asked, "Who is calling you?" "It's nothing, Mum. Someone from the office." "I have to answer it," Blair shrugged. "Well, at least tell the office people not to disturb us at night. It's family time. Make time for your responsibilities. 8 hours of work in 24 hours should be enough," her mother said, making a face. "Don't worry, I'll let them know." I'm just going to listen to this phone call, Blair said quickly, picking up the phone that had been ringing continuously for the past 5 minutes. Hello, she answered, trying to sound calm despite the growing unease in her stomach. Is this Blair? A familiar voice asked on the other side of the line. Yes, who is this? She replied, her heart pounding in her chest. It's me again, the same caller who told you about your father, the voice said, sounding urgent. What do you want now? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. I need to inform you that your father has been severely beaten by some individuals. He is currently in the ICU at St. Mew Hospital. I tried calling Kaylee, but she did not answer, so I had to reach out to you once more, the caller said, his voice filled with concern. Blair's thoughts raced as she attempted to comprehend the situation. Why would someone harm him? And who were these adversaries that her father had encountered?